Any Dunkaroos you see are literally from the 90s.
Number 10. Smuckers Uncrustables. There are a few recognisable landmarks in a person's voyage from kid to grown-up.
No C tax exemption.
Tax exemption.
Things like getting a driver's licence, opening a bank account in your own name, and maybe the biggest one, eating crust. Whether that be from a pizza or a sandwich, you'll find that most kids leave it out of their diet. For us 90s kids, this means we remember Uncrustables fondly.
Just take it from the freezer and put it in a lunchbox.
Developed in 1995 and purchased by Smuckers in 1999, the calzone-like sandwich with the crimped edges was a PB&J straight out of our childlike fantasy. No crusts.
With a name like Smuckers, it has to be good.
Number 9. Doritos 3D. Remember in the 2000s when 3D movies were a big thing? Well, in the 90s, 3D was also popular, but rather than at your local Cineplex, this 3D experience could be found in the chip aisle at your local grocery store. Doritos 3D were basically puffed up three-dimensional hollow triangles, like bugles without the opening at the wide end.
Introducing Doritos 3Ds. A whole new shape that begs to be eaten.
They came in a few different flavors, including jalapeno cheddar, nacho cheese, and zesty ranch. For about 15 years since the product was discontinued in the mid-aughts, all we could do was reminisce. However, as of the end of 2020, to quote the little blonde girl from Poltergeist 2,
They're back!
Number 8. String cheese. As adults, many of us, assuming we're tolerant of lactose, love cheese.
I could just fancy some cheese, Gromit. What do you say?
A nice aged cheddar, a creamy camembert, or a white Stilton will almost always hit the spot, unless of course that spot is wanting to feel like a kid again. If we need to embrace a sense of childlike innocence, well, there's really only one choice when it comes to cheese, and that's string cheese.
Is this what you want?
Bellissimo!
It's fun to eat. It's a snack that's easy to consume on the go. And it's pretty tasty too, all things considered. Oh, and for those of you who bite into it instead of pulling it off in strings, you can go ahead and click off the video now.
Wow, you just dive right in.
You know, around age 12, I just started going for it.
Number 7. Burger King fries. As we all know, trying to find consensus online is a fool's errand. That being said, it's pretty well agreed upon that these days McDonald's serves one of, if not the best, fast food French fries.
Has your mother ever made anything as good as a McDonald's fry? Not even close.
As for Burger King, where they land on the list varies, but it's most definitely lower than the Golden Arches. However, back in the 90s, that wasn't such a universal truth.
The crispy new Burger King fries beat McDonald's fries in a nationwide taste test.
In fact, there are Reddit threads dedicated to the memory of BK fries from the late 90s and early 2000s. Whether it's childhood food goggles or not, those old Burger King French fries are crispy nostalgia for many.
Wow.
Number 6. Jell-O pudding pops. Their association with Bill Cosby does put a bit of a damper on things.
Hindsight.
Should have had hindsight.
But for any kid of the 70s, 80s and 90s, there's no forgetting how yummy Jell-O pudding pops were. It's frozen Jell-O pudding on a stick. If you've never tried it, then maybe you don't understand. But trust us when we tell you it was awesome.
All the goodness of real Jell-O pudding.
And yes, we know that the Popsicle brand brought back pudding pops in 2004, but they just weren't the same. Which is probably why they were eventually discontinued in 2011. Bring back the OG Jell-O.
Jell-O brand pudding pops made with the goodness of real Jell-O pudding.
Number 5. Trix Yogurt. When in doubt, childhood food nostalgia can usually be found with bright colours and sugar. And one classic 90s snack that brought those two together in delicious harmony was Trix Yogurt by Yoplait.
All those fun colors, as you can see, make Trix Yogurt perfect for me.
Bringing the sweet and colourful cereal to yogurt containers meant a duo-coloured fruit-flavoured snack that kids loved. Yoplait has recently brought them back to store shelves after a 5-year hiatus. So if you were missing Strawberry Banana Bash, Raspberry Rainbow, or Watermelon Burst, you might just be in luck.
The fruity flavors will flip your lid.
While we're encouraging a tasty trip down memory lane, we'll take the opportunity to remind you that
Trix Yogurt is just for kids!
It
figure.
Number 4. SpaghettiOs. Penne, fettuccine, ravioli, linguine. Depending on your family, any one of those pasta types and shapes might bring back childhood memories.
Are you hungry?
For SpaghettiOs.
But there's one shape that, for some of us, is the most reminiscent of our childhood meals. And that would be the humble circle. Or more specifically, the O. The SpaghettiO.
Can you taste it?
Pasta circles in a can of tomato sauce might not sound like anything special, but to kids who had trouble twirling their spaghetti, it sure was. It was, as the initial tagline told us, the neat round spaghetti you can eat with a spoon. And to this day, what 90s kid doesn't throw out an uh-oh SpaghettiOs every now and then?
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs!
Number 3. Minute Maid Juice Bars. This one will awaken your inner child even before you even get to consume it.
And then we asked them to describe it without using their hands. Could they do it?
The second that three-dimensional triangle is in your hands, you'll start flashing back to those good old days. These frozen juice bars stood out from the crowd because of their unconventional shape, and they stand out in our minds for that, and for how delicious they are, obviously.
It's delicious and you got sweet.
Also, yes, they're still making them today, so if you remember just how to squeeze them, you too can have a yummy frozen snack, no matter your age.
The frozen juice treat you gotta squeeze to eat.
Number 2. Dunkaroos. 2020 was definitely a very tough year for all of us. However, there was a bright spot in the year of the pandemic, and it came in May. This was the time Dunkaroos came back into our lives.
You can dunk a Dunkaroo in as much chocolate or vanilla frosting as you want.
Introduced in 1990, Dunkaroos were a staple of many children's lunchboxes. Those cookies and icing were the undisputed highlight of our lunches.
So, how do you do your Dunkaroos?
Sadly, by the time we were teens and young adults, Dunkaroos had gone away. The collective sobs from our child selves must have been heard far and wide, because Dunkaroos seem here to stay this time around.
I don't know. People who experienced the original Dunkaroos, can you remember, do you think the originals were thicker?
Number 1. Fruit Gushers. Is there anything that can make you feel more like a kid than biting down on a gummy candy and feeling the sweet sugary syrup ooze out?
It's very, very different. And totally appealing.
When it comes to 90s candy, we certainly don't think so. Fruit Gushers were brought into the world in 1991, and they're still around today.
So fruity, they'll really turn your head.
Whoa, I'll say.
But when was the last time you had one? As adults, many of us have to put a stop to our childhood candy habits. However, one bite of a fruit gusher, and the only thing rushing into you faster than the juice inside the candy, will be happy childhood memories.
The blast of fruit punch is gonna drive you totally fruity.
Man, I got a split.
Which 90s snack always takes you back to your younger days? Let us know in the comments.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.